What I saw Jesus doing was a bit startling at first, but then it all made sense in the end. Stick with me here. I was at church and we were worshiping, and the man in front of me, as we were worshiping, I looked over, and in my mind's eye, I saw his back from bottom to top had a slice in his back, and it was opened up and I could see his spine. I thought, man, that's kind of strange, but I kept looking. Then I saw Jesus walk up with this contraption in his hand, and I thought it was like a rod, and he began to stick it in the man's back and attach it to his spine. Now, immediately I corrected Jesus. Why would you put a rod on his back? It's going to prevent him from being able to move, and it would make him stiffer. And I kind of heard in my spirit, let me finish. So I let him finish. And sure enough, it was a contraption that instead began to expand his spinal column. It began to separate the vertebrae and then began to tell me its form movement to make him more mobile and able to pivot and have more motion and create more flow of fluid through that spinal column area so that the nerves are more sensitive and the fluid running through can reach all of the muscles of the body. And I'm like, okay, that's in the physical, but what about the spiritual? And then I began to hear he's going to be moving him, and he needs to be able to pivot and be flexible and be able to do things he hasn't done before. And that he would also be able to be more sensitive on the nerve endings. His ability to sense more of the Holy Spirit, and his ability to be able to sense more of what God is doing, and his ability to, as a body, and attach himself to the body to be able to function differently than he has before. So, of course, I go and I share it with the gentleman. I say, excuse me, sir, this might sound crazy. I might have been seeing some stuff, but then I share it. And guess what he says to me? He says, wow, that is twofold really impressive. Because one, I have major back issues, and we've been praying for healing in my back. And then two, my wife and I have been praying quite a bit, and I feel the stir of God that he is going to be making me pivot and move and to stretch me in different ways than I have been before. And guess what? Even better. And also that I am becoming more sensitive to his spirit and going to be used in a more powerful way for God. And because you shared that with me today, you are confirming what God has been doing in me, and I got to pray over him and encourage him in a mighty way. Well, hey, can we see Jesus? Is he really out there still working today? Watch that pinned video to find out more so we can discuss this topic of Jesus at work. And of course, subscribe and follow for more.